Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm excited to share with you my thoughts on Venom of Love, Chocolate Queen, and Raced Spirits. So quite a few have been asking me about these fairly recent releases from Navitus. They were collaboration videos with popular YouTubers. And some of you have tried them, some of you haven't, but I've had a lot of questions about them. So I thought I would give you a breakdown on each of the fragrances and let you know which ones I think you would enjoy the most and why, kind of the good, the bad, the ugly. But before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button, join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of this phenomenal community. And without further ado, let's get into this. So I'm going to start with Venom of Love by Navitus. Now, this was a collaboration with Paulina Shar. I did a full dedicated video on this one back in December, so I will leave that linked either in the sky here or down below. Because I've done the review, you already know that I absolutely love this fragrance. It's a cherry dominant fragrance, and the cherry is very similar to Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. Now, what I love about all of Navitus's fragrances so far that I've tried is the longevity on them is amazing. So where Tom Ford's Lost Cherry doesn't last that long on the skin and is uber pricey, this one, although it's still got a fairly decent price tag on it, it's way less money than Tom Ford's, and I think personally I like it better. So what makes this cherry so delicious is it's a very decadent dark cherry. There's some booziness in this, there's some almond in it, and it's literally mouth-watering. It's warm, it's seductive smelling, it's just luscious. Now, the reason why I actually prefer this over Tom Ford's Lost Cherry is because in the dry down, you still get that delicious decadent cherry, but you also get just a hint of rose. So it just kind of deepens it up, rounds it out a little bit, but then you also get some chocolate in this. So the chocolate is just, it rounds it out, it deepens it up, it gives it some sophistication. You do get some woodiness in this, but what I don't like about the Tom Ford one, I'm in love with the opening, but as it dries down, it gets quite woody. This one, I love the opening, but as it dries down, you get some chocolatey. There's a little bit of woodiness in it. There's some creaminess, and it just kind of gets a little bit more soft and round, a little bit more gourmand feeling. Whereas Tom Ford's Lost Cherry gets a lot more woody to me, which I'm not crazy about. Like, it's nice, but this is better. Like, this is honestly better. So if I were to choose between the two, price-wise, this is better. It's got that delicious decadent cherry in the opening, and I love the dry down more in this. So this is a major win for me, comparing the two. So moving on to Chocolate Queen. So Chocolate Queen is, obviously it's gonna have chocolate in it. But it is a collaboration with Gabby Loves here on YouTube. So I knew I wanted to try Venom of Love because of all the amazing notes in it, and I really have a soft spot for cherry. Chocolate Queen wouldn't have been one I thought I would go for because it had so many gourmand notes, and for me, gourmand can sometimes be iffy. But this really surprised me. And the notes, like, they looked amazing, but I was like, oh, I'm not quite sure. In the opening, it has dark chocolate, hazelnut, and dulce de leche. In the mid, it has chocolate fudge, Bailey's Irish cream. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. Caramel and bitter almond. And then the base has praline, sandalwood, amberwood, and vanilla absolute. Now that sounds amazing, but it sounded so gourmand, and it sounded like it would be really sickly sweet. And chocolate fragrances, especially for me, are kind of iffy. I am pleased to say that this exceeded my expectations and was way more sophisticated than I would have imagined looking at the notes. So the notes look like it's going to be kind of your typical sweet, decadent, potentially cloying gourmand. Definitely chocolate is present. Somehow they've managed to make this fragrance airy. So although it's a chocolate fragrance, it feels almost as if there's a little bit of orange blossom or something in it to air it out. It smells almost as if there's a floral in there, even though it's not listed in the notes. I get the chocolate, but the chocolate isn't overwhelming, nor is it thick or cloying. It's somehow more delicate. It would be as if you smell it on the air as opposed to sticking your face in these gourmand notes. It's as if you're smelling it on the air, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I get the chocolate, but I also get a lot of nuttiness in this one. So the hazelnut, the praline, that aspect definitely comes out. And interestingly too, like I thought that this would be sickeningly sweet because of the notes. It's not. So somehow they managed to make it quite luscious, gourmand, yet not sickeningly sweet. Somehow, like I said, airy. I would say that I get more nuttiness than I do chocolate, but the chocolate is definitely present, and it's present continually. Now, when I put this on the skin, it almost feels as if there's some sort of just a hint of bergamot or some sort of citrus on the opening that again keeps it light. It doesn't smell citrusy, but it smells almost as if there's something freshening it up in the opening. As it dries down, the hazelnut definitely comes out on my skin, and it doesn't smell like Nutella. It smells like hazelnut and creaminess. So like hazelnut caramel is kind of more what I get rather than hazelnut chocolate. As it dries down, there's a period of time for about an hour where it smells really quite thick on my skin. So it goes from feeling airy to all of a sudden quite thick, quite decadent and rich, almost like that dulce de leche, and the hazelnut and everything almost forms like a butter consistency. That's kind of the smell that I get on my skin for about an hour. And then in the dry down, it seems to all of a sudden morph back into a little bit more airy, a little bit more sophisticated. In that period where it smells a little thicker, it somehow comes across a little bit chemically on my skin, but that said, that dissipates quite quickly and I'm back with that airiness. The thing that I find really fascinating about this fragrance is that it's one of the more unique fragrances I've smelled. So I've literally not smelled anything like it. Venom of Love definitely is very reminiscent to Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. Like you cannot deny that. This, I find Chocolate Queen very unique. So I have never smelled anything like that. Now there's lots of fragrances out there, so maybe I've just not smelled anything like it before. But it was very unique to me, and that makes it special in my opinion. So when I smell something that I've never smelt before, and it's unique, that to me is really special. So really, really enjoyed that. I also found it exceptionally sophisticated. So it's not just chocolate and a bunch of gourmand notes thrown in there. There's a complexity to it that I really, really appreciated. It didn't get too sweet. I found it to be a very balanced fragrance. And yeah, just so interesting with the chocolate and the nuts, just kind of ever present. And it's somehow still remaining like there was lots of space in the fragrance, a lot of airiness somehow. That's the only way I can describe it. I was really, really impressed with the composition of that fragrance. And again, the longevity on all of these fragrances is literally amazing. Raised Spirits is the last one I want to talk about, and that was a collaboration with Redolescence. Now, he has had many collaborations by the looks of it with Navitus. And just so that you know, I'll leave all of these YouTubers' channels linked down below because they're all excellent channels, great content, lots of amazing fragrance reviews for you to check out there. Raised Spirits was definitely what I would consider the most masculine out of the three. So they're all unisex. I would say that Paulina's, so Venom of Love, I would say that is right in the middle. It's unisex right down the line. The Chocolate Queen with Gabby, I would say that one is a unisex leaning feminine, and Raised Spirits is definitely unisex leaning masculine. The main components of Raised Spirits, in my opinion, is booze and tobacco. Definitely a boozy fragrance. Honestly, all three of them are kind of boozy, but Raised Spirits, that's the predominant feel in this fragrance is booze and tobacco. Now, if I would have been born in the 1800s, my guess is, well, I'm probably too nice to be a pirate, but part of me wishes that I was a pirate, like right down to the R. Like I could handle being a pirate. I love booze and tobacco. Like I'm a huge fan of booze and tobacco. So this in the opening, it has pimento leaves, salted butter fudge accord, and dark rum. You get that rum for sure. That rum comes out big time. There is a spicy quality with this one, so I definitely get that, like the pimento aspect. Totally get that. In the heart notes, you have caramel, sugarcane, and brown sugar syrup. Right there, it starts to remind me of kind of like a delicious kind of some sort of cocktail. So lots of sugary sweetness. I do get like a hint, I would say, of saltiness, but all that does is balance out the sweetness. Then the base notes are cashmere wood, French oak, tobacco, and Madagascar vanilla. It's really, really boozy. I get the tobacco, but I definitely get a lot of that wood. So that oak definitely comes out. I think of like liquor aged in an oak barrel, and then you take the wood and you smell the wood. That's the kind of boozy oakiness that you're getting. And I definitely get the tobacco coming out. Now, as this one dries down, you know, the rum is really present. As this one dries down, the woodiness comes out, but also a little bit of that salted butter fudge or caramel feel kind of comes out. So that kind of, that takes over from the booziness. And then as it dries down, you're getting that kind of almost like a boozy oak feel with the tobacco. I noticed the tobacco right off the bat, honestly. Out of the three, this one is definitely the more woody one. So for me, the booze and the tobacco and the wood is amped up to the point that I find it too masculine. But that said, I would enjoy smelling this on anyone. It's really nice. It's just not for me. Just way too masculine for my tastes. Somehow it just comes across masculine to me, masculine on my skin. When I smell it, I think masculine. And so that's not for me. So I would love to smell this on a guy for sure. It's really good. It's decadent. And although it holds its own and it's its own fragrance, I have smelt boozy, woody combinations in the past. So this just kind of fits into that category. So to finish off, most unique definitely goes to Chocolate Queen. I have never smelt anything like it. It's a beautiful composition. Really, really enjoy it. As far as my favorite out of all three scent profiles, I'd have to give it to Venom of Love, just because I'm so addicted to that lost cherry smell, that boozy cherry. But what I love about this is the chocolate thrown in there. It's smooth. It's amazing. I find it really sexy. Which one would I purchase? I would purchase Venom of Love first, then I would purchase Chocolate Queen. Now, if you have a Tom Ford type cherry in your collection, then go with Chocolate Queen because it's absolutely beautiful. It's so unique and different that I think it would be amazing. I also think that the two of them together are amazing. So you could do that. You could really mix and match all of these. Raised Spirits, I would pass on simply because it's too masculine for my tastes. If you're a dude, go get it. Like it's really, really decent. If you love those boozy tobacco fragrances, amazing. And it lasts so long on the skin. So all three of these amazing fragrances. If I was to rate them, it would be Venom of Love first. Love that cherry. Chocolate Queen second, just because I'm so in love with that cherry. Raised Spirit last, because it's more manly than what I can handle wearing. But Chocolate Queen is definitely such a unique, special fragrance because, yeah, I've never smelled anything like it. That chocolate and the nuts just being so airy, not too sweet. It's to me a sophisticated gourmand. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Please weigh in if you've smelled them. Tell us what you think, whether you like them, don't like them, which one you prefer, which one you recommend. Please weigh in. Let's have a conversation about it, because it's so healthy to get different opinions when we're talking about these fragrances. Last, I'd like to just congratulate again Paulina, but also Gabby Loves and Redolescence. Beautiful fragrances all around. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.